Hello, good morning, a good midnight, Miss Fi, and also others who are watching this. My name is Konata Pakitasibat, or you can call me for short. I come from 1004 class, it's the business class, but now I'm doing a research project for biology class about hepatitis B virus. Let's go back in the past to learn more about its history. Let's learn about its background before we learn about how it is today, right? About this disease is an endemic to most regions of the world. It's been on Earth for 82 million years ago and still in the present time. So, wow, we don't want that to happen with COVID-19 too, right? But if it happened and I had to do a really long time for online learning, which is gonna be boring, super boring. Okay, let's go back to our topic. This long period makes it quite a challenge for scientists to find the beginning. You know, it's like finding the dinosaur bone. To finding the dinosaur bone, you had to dig into the Earth's surface really deep, and you had to always be careful to crash those bones because it's kind of super fragile. It's like finding the information about this disease. There might be something like the crack of the bones that confuse those scientists to find the right information. This disease is spreading in the North Africa and Middle East, and then the rest of the world. There are not just one, but 9 different types of hepatitis B virus. Back then, they don't have this high technology like what we have in today. They don't have the convenient things like what we have today, the knowledge, the vaccine. So yeah, the risk was kind of high. 620,000 people die from this disease back then each year. That's sad. The current research have searched by Jennifer Price from University of California, San Francisco about how to cure infected patients from this virus. The result is still uncertain. They find a way, but not yet confirmed. It's not yet succeed. Let's learn about the history of the vaccines. This man on the right here, this picture, the man with the blue suit, he is Dr. Branch Blumberg. He is the first man who discovered the vaccine. In 1971, he started by developing a blood test. Dr. Blumberg discovered 4 years after the hepatitis B virus occurred. It's not that 82 million years ago. Is that 82 million years ago is the day virus first lived on Earth, but this 1971 is the 4 years after the virus started spreading. In 1981, the FDA approved a more sophisticated plasma-derived hepatitis B vaccine for human use. Now the vaccine is developed and it is confirmed that it's safe. Well, that is good, because if it's unapproved, there might be some risk that you're going to get some infections from using the vaccines. And then in 1986, the new research resulted in a second hepatitis B vaccines. These new approved vaccines are synthetical, so it does not contain blood products. Next, about the infection. The cause of this disease is from the virus called hepatitis B virus, or HBV. It's a virus, so it's not cell. It's not it's neither prokaryotic or eukaryotic cells. It's a virus, so it's much smaller. It is a package of nucleic acids and protein. So back 2 slides, like here, when Dr. Blumberg used the heat, not using the virus to get into your body, is the new form of virus. The virus has a part of protein, so when it heated, is denatured. so it's not the same form anymore. This disease is also known as non-retroviral virus. It's easy to remember the cause because the name, this hepatitis B virus and the hepatitis B disease, name is kind of the same. It started the infection at the liver. So there may be some consequences that relate to liver, and we'll talk about that later. Each individual's case are different. Hepatitis B can be short-lived, called acute, or become a long-term infection called chronic. So if two persons get infected, they will not get the same treatment. It's up to their, conditions too. The infection will attack at the liver first, leading to the other serious problems such as liver cancer and cirrhosis. It's have a high risk for getting the liver cancer if you don't get the right treatment. So if you feel some conditions, this kind of sounds like you're going to get the hepatitis B disease, I recommend you to go meet the doctor as soon as possible, because if not, it might be worse. The life cycle of virus. First step of infection. The virus will start its infection at the target cell, and it will keep spreading until ensuring that 100% of the hepatocyte or liver cell populations are infected. Sorry about some grammar problems. I'm still working on that. The entering of the virus first, it will attach to the host cell membrane. Here in the picture on the right, this yellow line. This is the cell membrane. The virus can enter into the cell by binding to receptors on the surface. The surface is the same meaning with the membrane. Later, it relates into the cytoplasm and transported to the nucleus. It's entered by endocytosis. Here, this picture can express about the endocytosis is kind of clear, so I choose this picture. You see this like a tiny chopstick. It will catch like this star. The disease will be like this star and this square. It will come in, and then the membrane will bind like this, and then it will become that circle on the right corner, and then it will enter the cell. Life cycle of the virus. After the virus enters the cell, we still continue on the life cycle. So I just want you to know, so I read the topic again. Right, okay, let's move on. After it enters the cell, it releases the viral genome into the cell cytoplasm, then reaching into the nucleus. So its main target is the nucleus. This is the most important part. Yes, the nucleus is the most important part that can cause the malfunctions to all the system of that cell. Since it reaches the nucleus, the viral polymerase enzyme will convert the partially double-strand DNA genome into CCC DNA. So it's not going to be the same DNA. It will add some code or some things. Like it adjusts the DNA, the DNA code. And as we already learned about the cell, that each of the code, each of the steps, they all are important. If one of it have a problem, it will cause serious problems. When the nucleus have a different DNA, it will send out the wrong mRNA to the cytoplasm. This is the translation process for making proteins. It's like the nucleus is the center. It sends out the code. The command is like this mRNA. The right command, you get the right product. It's like when you work at the office, you talk or you doing group work, you have a bad communication with your friends, you will not get a quality work. But if you have a good conversation, you will get a really good grade from that project. This is similar. The mRNA, the wrong mRNA make the ribosome make a wrong proteins, make a wrong and that protein will continue to process to ER and Golgi body respectively, which is going to make all of the process malfunction, and that is make that cell malfunction, the whole cell malfunction, and then it keeps spreading until all the liver cell is, work in a wrong way, and that is how the virus spread the disease to all of your liver cell. This virus is an acquired disease that passes from person to person to patient's fluids, such as blood, semen, something like that. But your saliva doesn't count. That's part don't have the disease. So about the blood semen things, that is where you need to be aware of. The group that have more risk of being infected is these 46 to 66 ages or over. The gender also made an impact. Male are 5% more likely to develop HPV compared to females. In that bracket is the percentage of the infection right now. 63% of men and 37% of women. So it's kind of very clear that men got more risk, This reason is because women are more work as the housewife. They don't really meet many people as men. Men are the person that go out from the house every day to work. But women, they mostly stay at home. For today, there are over 2 million people infected and 884,000 people die each year. This, for example, USA is a very famous country that had a very high density and various population, and we all respect every people differences. Approximately 3,000 people died from the disease each year in USA. Wow, that's a lot. The spreading disease like COVID-19 that's happening today. To stop the spreading, you need to stop meeting with others. So the distancing is really helpful. And USA is kind of really high density of people, so you get more risk to be infected. Here below, this table showed the 3 popular types of the disease and with the percentage of infection. Chronic hepatitis B, 87%. Liver cirrhosis, 17%. Hepatocellular carcinoma is 5%. This one not so famous. These two are kind of the most popular, most known. Just a few information to let you know. Epidemiology. Still continue on this topic. Here are some risky situations. Sexual contact, sharing of needles, mother to child jobs that expose you to human blood, such as doctor. Here is just like what I mentioned before, that the disease is in the patient's fluids, such as blood and semen. So some activities that include blood, like using needles, and some doctors need to test the patient's blood. That is, they need to be very careful. So basically, just don't use things that already contact with other people's blood or other kind of fluids. But as I said, saliva doesn't count, so it's okay for you to talk to them, to sit with them. If they cough or sneeze at you, that's okay. For mother to child, when a woman pregnant, their child, if that woman is infected, there's a very high risk for the child to be infected. When the child drink mother milk, the milk is made from blood, so yes, in that milk contain the disease. Here are some pictures from our understanding. Here, blood, tattoos, healthcare worker, he using needles, body piercing, mother to newborn. These are the activities that include bloods. So yeah, that is the main part you need to be careful of. Pathology. So normally the symptom doesn't appear in the age under 5 or the adults with a good immune system. So as I said, about 40 up, this group of people, they have this group of people, they don't have that strong immune system like the adults or kids. So they got about 30-50% of risk. The symptom will not appear that soon. It had to wait for 60 to 150 days after the virus entered the body to show for us to noticing it. It's gonna take some time for virus to spread to all of your liver cell, including fever, joint pain such as at the elbow or knee, fatigue, achy muscle and joints, head things around, vomiting, loss of appetite, dark urine, yellow skin, white eyes. The loss of appetite and vomiting, these two are kind of very, very clear because liver is play a part in digestive systems. So yeah, this comes from the malfunction of liver. Treatment. Bad news, but it's treatment because it's not curable. As I mentioned, the current research said that only way is to prevent the virus from entering the liver cell or hepatitis and block it from nucleus. Then let the host immune system respond to fight off the virus. So, as I said in the previous slide, the old people with a lack of immune systems, this will be hard for them to be cured because right now we still find a way just to let the host immune system fight back by itself. What we can do just to prevent it to get to nucleus. And the researchers said that once the virus enter to the nucleus and enter the cell, once the virus enters the cell, it will be very difficult to eradicate it. So yeah, that is very bad news. It's been on Earth for super long, but until now it still don't have a cure. Well, there's a way. A way is to do a liver transplant to find a new liver. Your old liver is malfunctioned. Your liver cells can't work properly anymore. So what you can do is just to find a new liver. Yeah, that's the only way for now to cure it for a long term. The vaccines might decrease the number of patients, but there's still chance. So be careful of other people's blood. There are treatments that help the hepatitis B patients, but it's only for reduce the long-term complications. These treatments are just in other words, to buy you time. It's just to control it, not to go to cancer, liver cancer, something like, not to let it go worse. The effect of this disease. Effect on social. This problem still occurs in this present time, that the wealthy will get the better caring from others than the poor. The social class have been on earth for super long, just like the disease. And yes, we still don't have the solution for the social class. We might say that everybody is equal, we respect equalities, but people still see each people difference. When people are poorer than you don't really respect them. Some people just don't treat them like what they treat the rich people. No, I don't think that's right. Money does not tell you how good you are. Okay, sorry for out of the topic. Let's move on. The social class also play part in the spreading of the hepatitis B disease. Well, how? This is why. The higher class people can afford a good hospital. They have a good house. They have a good car, good transportation. They don't have to meet with the crowded BTS SkyTrain. They have their private car. They get to use the first class, which there are fewer people. But on the other hand, for the lower class, they don't have choices. Where they can go to cure what if they're ill is the government hospital, where it's cheaper, but they don't have enough facilities for every patient. For example, the self-employed business owner, public sector worker, some people with good salary, they're approximately 10% less likely to develop hepatitis B disease. The effect on political. The hepatitis B have killed a large population of humans around the world since it's established. When some group was infected, in the term of established, I mean it's spreading. When some group was infected, others start to migrate. No one wants to be infected. When you, for example, COVID-19, if you live in China, and then you know that this disease is in China, what are you going to do? Of course, you're going to migrate. You want to go to somewhere safe. And then, when they migrate, they make the disease spread even further and faster. And that is our disadvantage from those days. Because right now we have a good transportation. It's quick for the disease to be spread. Just if you have a disease and you don't know it, and you get on a plane, you come from China, you come back to Thailand, and then you come meet your families, meet your friends, you are spreading the disease to those people too. People in Thailand will get more risk to be infected. Well, this causes problems for every government around the world for lacking of authority to control their people. And to control the disease. The first several months when COVID-19 appeared, people don't really care. They still let the transportation to go on. They don't close the country. So that as we already see it quite clear that more people being infected from China to Europe super quick. For example, when people migrate from the poorest parts of the country, such as the eastern and southeastern regions of Turkey, are approximately 16% more likely to be infected to other part of the world. When they migrate, they give this percentage, increase the percentage of infection in other country. Effect on economic. Most of the cost from the medical service. This includes the diagnostic cost too. In 2012, here on the right, the table on the right here, as you can see so clear, is the estimated annual direct medical costs for patients at different stages of the disease in 2012. As you can see, the average is $4,098 or 128,158 Thai baht. Okay, let's move on. This table is estimate annual direct non-medical cost and indirect cost per patients at different stages of disease still in 2012. The totals are the same with the last one, the first table. So we can assume that the two costs are nearly equal in the treatment process. They both are important for the process of curing. This last table is the economic burden was estimated to be $657,608,000. Each country used a lot of money for maintaining the stabilities of their population from this disease, but it is also shrinking the stabilities of their economy. As it is today, very similar to COVID-19. I keep saying about COVID-19 to make it, clearer. When there's a big spreading of the disease, the government need to give people money. They need to help their people. They need to cure their people. So there will be need of the medical technology, the employees, in the hospital, some equipment that they need for curing. And as we know, the government hospital didn't have enough room for every patient. For this last table, as you can see, that the total economic cost is $17,845.13. This is the cost for curing, which is a lot. But for the economic burden, was estimated to be $657,608,000. So that is a lot. Every time there is a spreading of disease, it will definitely affect the economy because people won't come out to buy things. They want to stay safe. They want to stay at home. So the cycle of the economy won't go on, and there's still an important use of money that government is using for curing the people to maintain the stabilities of their populations, but that's shrinking the stabilities of their economy too. Okay, and here are some references. Thank you so much for listening to this presentation. I've been working so hard on it. Thank you.